Most people think exit interviews don't matter, that once you leave, it's over. You've already resigned. You've already made your decision. So whatever you say in that room feels harmless. Just feedback, just honesty. But what you say in that room can quietly follow you into your next job. Work politics. And the worst part? You won't even know it's happening. When you resign, something shifts. Suddenly, the same company that never for once had time for you wants your full attention. They schedule a meeting, they sit you down, and they ask questions that sound simple. What made you decide to leave? What could we have done better? Is there anything you want to share? And it feels like your moment, your chance to finally be honest, to explain everything you experienced, the good and also the bad, to say what you couldn't say before, because now you're free, or at least it feels that way. So you start talking. You mention your manager, how communication wasn't great, how expectations kept changing. You talk about the workload, how it kept increasing without recognition. You talk about the culture, how some particular things didn't feel right, how decisions didn't make sense. And while you're saying all of this, it feels justified. It feels honest. It even feels productive, like you're helping them improve. But that's where most people misunderstand what's actually happening. Because the exit interview isn't about you. It never was. Companies don't run exit interviews for closure. They run them for information, patterns, signals, risk. They're trying to understand what's happening inside their system. Are there problems spreading? Are there issues they need to contain? Are there risks they need to manage? And more importantly, what kind of employee you are. Not when you worked there, but when you left. Because leaving is different. When you're employed, you're still playing the game. You filter what you say. You stay careful. But when you leave, you think the rules don't apply anymore. So you speak more freely, more openly, more honestly. And that's exactly when they pay the most attention. Because now, they're not just listening to your words, they're watching your behavior. Do you stay composed, or do you become emotional? Do you stay professional, or do you start venting? Do you stay strategic, or do you say everything you've been holding in? Because how you exit tells them more than how you work. And here's where it becomes a problem. Most people walk into that room thinking, this is my chance to be honest. So they say everything. They explain every issue, every frustration, every detail. They don't hold back because they think honesty protects them. But they forget one thing. This isn't a conversation. It's documentation. Everything you say can be written down, summarized, categorized, not always in a negative way, but not always in a neutral way either. Because information doesn't stay in one place. It moves through systems, through people, through impressions. And most of the time, what travels isn't the full story. It's the interpretation. You say your manager was difficult. To you, that's honesty. To them, it might sound like conflict. You say the culture wasn't right. To you, that's feedback. To them, it might sound like dissatisfaction. You say you felt unsupported. To you, that's your experience. To them, it might sound like blame. And once it's interpreted that way, that version becomes the record. Not the full context, not the nuance, just the impression. And impressions travel further than facts. Now here's the part most people underestimate. Information doesn't just disappear when you leave. Industries are smaller than they look. People move between companies. Managers change roles. HR professionals stay connected. And sometimes, the impression you left follows quietly, not as a report, not as a file, but as a feeling. Something felt off. They had concerns. They were a bit negative. Even if that's not what you meant, even if that's not who you are, because once something is simplified into an impression, it becomes easy to pass on, and you don't get to explain it. You don't get to correct it. You don't even know it exists. That's what makes it a trap. Not because it's designed to hurt you, but because it's designed without you in mind. The exit interview isn't there to protect you. It's there to understand you. And once you see that, your entire approach changes. You stop treating it like a confession. You stop treating it like closure. And you start seeing it for what it really is, a final impression. Because the way you leave is part of your reputation, not just where you've been, but everywhere you go next. So the real question isn't, what do you want to say? It's, what should you not say if you want to stay in control? And once you start thinking that way, you stop reacting, you stop venting, you stop giving away information you can't take back, and instead, you leave strategically. Because in the end, it was never just an exit interview. It was your last impression before the next chapter begins.